You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
Good evening, everybody. Keith Engle here. TGI Sports Talks College Football Huddle. How we doing? It's not really football season, right? We talked a lot of football just now on the National Streaming Sports. I don't even have a lineup for you tonight. We're gonna wing it. Not a lot to talk about, obviously. There's a few things. And we'll get into that. I want to welcome everybody watching tonight on all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're live on the Roku channel, National Streaming Sports Roku channel. Thank you so much for watching there. Thank you, Mac, for putting that together. Well, some news about that probably coming up in the future. I don't know if I like these glasses. I still can't decide. Need to get some opinion tonight. Who else? All the groups allow us to share. John Gonzalez at Sport Authorities. Flo and the Gang at Bottom Line Sports. Let's Talk Sports, where Flo and the Gang do their podcasting. Got a bad, whatever. I lost my train of thought tonight early. Who else? Let's Talk Sports, where Flo and the Gang do their podcasting. They do a great podcast. And thank you. I'm going to keep saying thank you to Flo. Flo's deployed right now overseas. Do not know where he is, and we hope he's safe, and we thank him for his service as always. Also, Ken Krause at Golf Bud Sports of All Sorts. We thank him. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph has recently moved from Pittsburgh to the Maryland area. I think it was Maryland. He'll be restarting, or maybe did yesterday, the Sports Corner on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday with Smoking Jim Frazier. Been on the show with Ralph and Smoking Jim and always have a good time. So we welcome all of them. Watch me fix this. Watch this. It's like magic. Welcome, everybody. We got some things to talk about, though, in the college football. We got Bill Belichick. Is Belichick going to make it to the season? I don't know. Oh, gosh. We'll see how it goes tonight. Our big Syracuse fan, Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, yes, and I'm very happy, and they did it wait until he was dead. We talked about that on the National Streaming Sports Show. We're not going to probably talk about that tonight, but we will talk about that this weekend for sure, Dave Guyette. Tune in Sunday for the Stream of Consciousness, and actually tune in Friday at 3 p.m. the MLB update. We'll definitely be talking about Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and some others. So tonight we're going to talk some college football, some college sports, get a little baseball, college baseball in probably. We'll go as long as you guys want to go. So AC's with us. Good to see you, AC. AC says the glasses look good. Well, thank you. I don't know. I'm always, I try to mix it up when I get new ones. So anyway, thank you. I used to wear contacts all the time. I mean, my eyes are terrible, guys. But I was trimming these things down. They'd be like this. I'd look like Mr. Magoo. That's how bad my eyes are. But I used to wear contacts all the time. When I played golf, especially. But as I got older, I needed progressive lenses. So again, if you don't know what progressives are, there's 3 different prescriptions in these glasses. So for distance, for kind of close up reading, and then nearsighted, or not nearsighted, but kind of near, like a computer distance. So at work, I'd wear my contacts and I'd have to wear 2 other pairs of glasses with them. Makes no sense. So I just started wearing my glasses all the time. Besides that, my wife says they make me look younger. I don't know that I've ever done a show actually with my contacts. I don't think I ever have. I've been doing the show 5 years. I don't think I ever have. This is like titillating conversation, though, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, welcome, everybody. We got some things to chat about. Illinois hands Brett Bielema and Underwood, not Blair Underwood, Blair Underwood's actor. They both got 6-year extensions, by the way. Brad Underwood, the basketball coach. Both have done really well at Illinois. Bielema turned around that football program. He's going to be getting $7.7 million now. It's pretty big for Illinois head coach, and Underwood's going to be starting at 4.4. So congratulations to them. Marco Cristobal says that Carson Beck will be cleared for summer workouts. Good for him. Big news, though, is Bill Belichick. What is going on? I know, AC, you said, he's retired. He's not retired, first of all. Let him enjoy himself. He can, but he's really, things are becoming a mockery down there. People at North Carolina are saying there's like two different people. I never got the sense, well, actually, Bill Belichick had a better sense of humor and such than people thought off the field. But I just don't know. The school can't be happy with what's going on, or maybe they are. They're getting publicity that they wouldn't have gotten. There's been a lot of talk, and I even considered it. They're not going to fire him. Let's be clear. It's going to cost him $30 million, a minimum of $30 million to fire Bill Belichick. Can't do that. He could walk away, but it will cost him $10 million to walk away today, and it will cost him $1 million after June 1st. But the college also has, they're not, I don't think they're going to want him to walk away. They've got a $20 million investment in assistants and other people surrounding the program. But winning solves everything, right? We're going to forget all about this if they win. Now they get away 2-4, things are going to start heating up on Belichick because people are going to start to question his decision making. AC, I know you're probably going to comment, leave him alone. He's having a good time. I don't have any problem. You do what you want. I have no problem with him and his relationship and whatever. Do what you want. Your life. But myself and I think other people around him, family, ex-players and staff, are concerned about his legacy. You don't think this puts a blemish on his legacy? I don't know, man. I just don't know. So I worry about that a lot. The president has said he wants to have a commission, by the way, headed by Coach Saban and I think Texas Tech's AD, if I remember. What this commission will do, it's supposed to look into, all things college football and try to get things back on some. The genie's out of the bottle. They're never putting it back. So, what kind of what this commission would actually looking to do is a little bit hazy. But Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, has said he's behind it. He's okay if they do this. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We got to talk about something on these nights, right? We'll probably go and I don't know. We'll start shortening the shows to an hour. We'll probably miss a show here and there. We'll go on our summer hiatus soon, as I said, because again, you start to struggle for things to talk about. I'm going to try to go through the. Let me do this. I'm going to try to go through the college baseball World Series because I want to talk some college baseball. I'd like to get actually Larry Sorensen on, who one of our favorite guests, who does color commentary at Wake Forest for baseball and football, and talk to him a little bit about the ACC tournament coming up and such. Let's see, AC. So AC just feels like the media is picking and choosing with him. I'm not so sure, and other coaches are way worse. I'm not commenting on other coaches. I don't know. I don't what other stories I've seen. There's been other stories. Look at Hugh Freeze and how he got fired in Mississippi. He's a story and he's a name. And when you put yourself out there, he's starting to sell a book. He's not out there. They're not picking and choosing, by the way, in my mind. Let me finish your comment. I'm sorry. College football to Bill Belichick is like a state trooper working security in a mall after they retire. Well, this is major college football. I get what you're saying. I think the analogy is a little too far. I get where you're coming from. As far as I'm picking on him, he's putting himself out there to be picked on. He's got a book. The book, by the way, is not selling the way they like it to. He went on a book tour and he's gone on TV to try to promote the book. He doesn't want to promote himself. And when you do this and you're dating a woman who's, could be your granddaughter, maybe your great granddaughter. I guess I'm trying to do the math. She almost could be. You're going to open yourself up to this type of scrutiny. You're Bill Belichick. You were the greatest coach in the history of the NFL. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm not really bashing Bill. I'm not happy about what he's doing here, and I want him to succeed wherever he is. I like Bill Belichick. I think he's a great coach. I think he might be losing his edge a little bit, his focus. He's talked to his players about, the off the field situations. I don't know. Is it picking and choosing again? You put yourself out there. Tell me another. I don't know who else is out there to really talk about right now. This media cycle. I don't think there is anybody. This is a story. News outlets are going to report stories. I don't know. Right? Security at the mall is also important. 20 years ago. It's important now. Paul Bart was the last important security guard. Actually, security guards might be more important now. AC, you walk into a mall or any place, I guess, in public, you got to have your head on a swivel. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. What do you got for me, buddy? If the NFL kept him, he would be taking this more seriously. Well, again, that's part of the problem, right? If he's not taking it seriously, if I'm the University of North Carolina, I have a problem. It's a problem they created because they knew what they were taking on. Well, maybe they didn't know they were taking on this media circus that Jordan, what's her name? Jordan Hudson? I don't even remember her name. Lou Hudson? Jordan Hudson, I think. She's a diva. She's a nut job. I'm sorry. If he's happy, I'm happy. But you're implying if he was in the NFL, he would take his job more seriously. He shouldn't have taken his job if he wasn't going to be 100% into it. And if I'm the university, I'd be a little upset because I'm paying him $50 million. If that's the case. I think Bill Belichick on the field is probably still Bill Belichick. Nobody has implied that that's the name. Well, my math. Thank you, Linda. Linda, I hope you're doing well, hanging in there. My math is just so bad. I totally lost track. Here I am stupidly trying to, I'm looking at a box score trying to add up the points, and all I had to do is subtract 72 from the final score. Thank you, Linda. We're thinking about you every day. Hope things are going well. Stay in touch with us. You got my number. We miss Mac. He's a good man. I want to know, hey, Rick, by the way, since we'll get off topic a little bit because it's such a quiet time in college football. We're going to talk a little college baseball. I want to talk about the dates of some of the tournaments coming up and the College World Series. And we'll look at the rankings and we'll talk some more football. Anything you guys want to talk about. We're going to start looking for a pick here soon. I think it will wait till July, probably, AC to pick somebody. What's the AC got here? Every coach has stuff to talk about. About the media. What? Every coach has stuff to talk about. The media. I guess there should have been some punctuation there. About the media does what the media does, just like how the media looked the other way with Biden. And that's a lot of things that there probably should be some punctuation in there, AC. It's hard enough for me to speak English as it is. Yeah, well, again, you're not wrong. I agree 100%. When there's a story, though, they're going to latch onto it like it's, a dog with a bone. That's what they do. Oh, my head is huge, shiny tonight, man. Jordan Hudson is just like a lot of coaches' wives, but the media like to push this stuff. You really think so? You really think coaches have women showing up at practice, their wives showing up at, well, he's not his wife yet. They're his fiance. You really think coaches' wives are showing up at practice? No, they aren't. You really think coaches' wives are going to interviews and interrupting 12 times? You think coaches' wives are trying to make themselves executive producers of Hard Knocks when Hard Knocks wants to come there and highlight the university in their summer camp? No, I'm not buying that one. I'll buy a lot of things, but not that. She is just younger and he is older. Well, that's coaches' wives are also getting involved. That's it. Coaches' wives are also. I don't know what. I'm not sure what that last part means. Is that saying the same thing as you said above? I'm not sure. You know it, Linda. Always thinking about you. When a state trooper takes the mall job, he doesn't take it as seriously as a trooper's job. That's what this job is to BB. See, that's the problem I have with this. Again, he shouldn't be there if he's not all in. Am I wrong? And by the way, the state trooper should be all in. I think anybody should be all in on any job they take, or don't take the money. You know, you wouldn't want players, and we know it happens, right? They aren't 100% sold, bought in. If Bill Belichick isn't 100% sold on this job, he shouldn't be there collecting $50 million over the next 5 years, maybe. Stay home. Have a baby with your young wife, you know. Won't see him graduate high school, but, whatever. And again, I'm not bashing Bill Belichick necessarily, because I don't believe he's not sold in on this job. I believe he thinks this is the 33rd NFL team, by the way. He thinks he's going to put an NFL factory together there at North Carolina. I think he's totally bought in on the field. It's off the field, and whether that's going to become a distraction. And by the way, this all goes away when he starts to win. If he starts to win. Nobody's going to care. I'm not going to care. Well, when the games start, we're not going to talk about this anyway, because I won't care. We'll only talk about it now because there's nothing else to talk about. There's a couple things. Where's my get my mouse going here? There were a couple other stories I thought I saw. We'll get into it in a little bit. Let's AC. I'm going to let AC have his run here tonight. It's just 2 weeks so him and I have debated Bill Belichick on this show. We got like 1,500 views last week on Bill Belichick, Keith and AC's take on Bill Belichick. I don't think the wives are on cam as much, but they also most of the coaches are not on cam as much. The wives are on campus way more than you think. I didn't say they weren't on campus. I said they weren't on the practice field. Not on campus. Nick Saban's wife was around the program and around the players. Nick Saban's wife was also older than the players. And like a mom. I don't think Jordan Hudson is going to be like a mom to the players at North Carolina. And I don't think Nick Saban's wife was on the field during practice. I don't think she was there interrupting interviews with Nick 12 times. I don't think she was demanding to be executive producer of his weekly show at Alabama. You're never going to convince me that she's just like every other major college football coach's wife. First of all, she's 50 years younger than her husband, and I don't think you're going to find, I'll bet you anything you cannot find that type of age disparity anywhere else in a power football conference. Or maybe any conference in, every level of college football. I'll be shocked. I don't care that he's dating a woman 50 years younger than him. Don't get me wrong. But it's a story. I don't want it to be a story. I'd like it to go away. I wish there was other stuff to talk about. And believe me, AC, I will stop talking about it if we can come up with something more interesting. LSU and Clemson is going to kick off ABC's primetime college football coverage, by the way. Texas A&M and Texas will resume their rivalry game, or actually they resumed it last year, I believe, on Black Friday this year. That's kind of news. You turn down $50 million to play football with college kids. Bill Belichick doesn't need the money, number one. He wants to coach. The money's important. Yeah, look at, he wants the money. He's not going to do it for free. Nobody works for free. I love my job. I wouldn't have done it one day for free. What's just an assumption? What part did I say was just an assumption? I can assume that I'm assuming that nobody else has got a 50-year age difference in their wife. I'm pretty confident I'm right. I'd have to do a lot of research probably to figure that out, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Talking a little college baseball as we were talking before. The Mohawks start at the end of the month. I think you told me Coach Griffin was back. What was that? Who was retired? By the way, and Rick, I do want to talk some Mohawks. So when we know who some of the players are, I'd like to, and where they're from, I'd like to get into that a little bit. I am going to get to some college baseball and give you some conference dates and stuff. AC keeps me going. Let me give you a little bit of news. News flash. Bill Belichick wasn't retired either. Bill Belichick got fired. I know you think he walked away. I know you probably think he left amicably. Bill Belichick got fired. Don't. Even if he left, he didn't retire. He left his job, and he always intended to get another one. He wanted a job that very off season. That's not what you do when you retire. You might say he was on a sabbatical. Nick Saban's retired now. I'm not sure why that's even relevant. I guess because you're saying he retired from the NFL. First of all, I should have caught this before. He didn't retire. When did Bill Belichick say, I'm done, I'm retiring, I want to spend more time with my family, which I'm sorry, he doesn't spend any time with his family. He spends it with his fiance, who I guess is his family. But he didn't retire. Hey, Paul Spada, how are you, my friend? Got any Oregon news for us? Oh, gosh. What's going on? I want to know, what do you think, Rick? Who will have a better year this year at quarterback? Let's talk about some. AC, you can continue with this Bill Belichick chatter if you'd like. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. We can talk more about. We'll be talking about it until the season starts, probably. Do you think Carson Beck is going to succeed at the University of Miami? He supposedly is healthy and will participate in summer camp, summer drills. Will he have a better year than, oh God, who's the guy at Georgia? Is it Stockwell? I always mix this guy up. Isn't that the guy I ran with, Ross Perot? Who's the Georgia quarterback right now? Where are you, Rick? This is where I need you, buddy. I feel like it's, I screwed up his name all last year. Gunnar Stockton. Thank you. That's a pretty good football name, actually. Who has a better year this year? Carson Beck and his $4 million NIL contract, or Gunnar Stockton, who replaces him, most likely replaces him. Is there a sleeper there, by the way, Rick? Because, I mean, none of these names are standing out to me that of guys I've heard being hot stuff. So I'm a little curious about that. Let's throw that out there. No, he's not retired from the NFL. Why do you think? I think he could coach. I don't know that he will, because I'm not sure somebody's going to offer him a job. He's only not coaching in the NFL right now because nobody offered him a job. He tried to get the Falcons job immediately the season after he left the Patriots for whatever reason. Whether you want to say he was fired or quit, or it was an amicable parting of the ways. He wanted a job that offseason. He didn't get it. He saw the tea leaves last year that he was not going to get interviews, much less hired, in last year's NFL cycle. That's why he went to North Carolina, because he wanted to coach. He didn't want to be out of the action for a second year in a row. So, and by the way, if you look at the contract he signed, after June 1st this year, there's only $1 million buyout for him. He can walk away for $1 million. That's nothing when we're talking about major college football coaches. Do I think he's done with the NFL? Only if nobody wants him. If a job opens, an attractive job, he's not going to go coach, some team that's hopeless. They're going to have a quarterback and some pieces, and he might even want some control. Although at this point, I think he wouldn't. I wouldn't be shocked to see him if somebody wanted him back in the NFL next year. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and say that. As soon as somebody wants him, he's not turning a job down. Unless it's with just an god-awful team, because he's not a young guy. If you think beating Shula's record doesn't matter to him, you're nuts. Because once he has that record and all the Super Bowls, nobody can argue with me that he's the GOAT, because he is the GOAT. It's unfortunate the last couple of years there are going to be what some people remember. But there's a lot of people young enough, they don't know that he built something out of nothing in New England. 40 years of mostly putrid teams. There was some spikes here and there. We had a couple Super Bowl appearances. And they had some decent teams. Got screwed in Oakland one year. I don't want to talk about the NFL. That's another show. The question is, is Bill Belichick retired from the NFL? No. I think if he has an opportunity, he goes back there. That's why the contract has got $1 million buyout and not whatever it's worth. In most every other situation, so I believe the way I understand his contract, it's for 5 years, $50 million. The first 3 years and $30 million is guaranteed by the university. If they fire him, they've got to pay him that. If he leaves of his own volition, it's $1 million after June 1st. In any other situation, all of the guaranteed money likely would have been what it cost to buy him out of that contract. So $30 million it would have cost him to get out of it. Or $29 million more. See, Glenda, I can do math. No, he's not done. He that doesn't mean he'll coach in the NFL. But that's different than being retired. Have you heard him say, I'll never coach in the NFL again? He said all the right things at North Carolina. I always dreamed of coaching in college, and maybe he did. I'll take him at his word. And I hope he succeeds. I hope he makes the college football playoff at North Carolina next year. I really do. I'll root for them when they're not playing Miami. I'm a Hurricane fan, and I can't, by marriage, and I can't change my colors now. Very interesting in our house when they play North Carolina. If they play them, I'm not sure they're even on the schedule. I don't know if Rick's still with us or not. I wanted to get some feedback on my Gunnar Stockton and Carson Beck question. Let me look at the mailbag here. That might get us a few things to chat about, and then we're going to go to some college baseball, I think. We already talked about Belichick. We can continue. This story's probably not over. Again, some chatter today about the presidential commission into college sports led by Nick Saban and Texas Tech booster. Sorry, I thought it was the AD, Cody Campbell. The question that jumps to mind is, what exactly do these guys want out of all of this? I don't think they know. I think the NCAA, listen, they want some kind of government involvement. What they really want at the NCAA is an antitrust exemption, like Major League Baseball has. So they can't be sued by everybody. I don't know. Who knows if this commission will ever even start doing anything? Here's Rick's answer on my question. I think the problem. It was his shoulder, right? If I'm not mistaken, Rick. I think Carson Beck is a huge gamble this year, a $4 million gamble, and Miami's. There's no plan B that I can see in Miami. It's Carson Beck or bust, and if he doesn't perform well or he gets injured again, I'm not so sure that Miami's going to be anywhere near the top of the ACC. I mean, they had the best player in college football last year. Oh, I'm sorry, the best quarterback in college football last year. Travis Hunter was the best player. They had the best quarterback in college football last year, the number one pick in the NFL draft. Whether I think he should have been there or not is irrelevant. And they still couldn't get over the top. Now they're taking a step down. Carson Beck did not play last year, even when he was healthy. He was not playing as well as he had in previous years. He didn't play anywhere near the level of Cam Ward, and Miami still couldn't get over the hump and into the playoff when it was right there for them to have. They went into that Syracuse game that I was here. That's all they had to do really was win that game. And nobody showed up. Even Cam Ward. I mean, he had some great numbers that day, but I'll tell you what, he did not play a good football game. So I'm not sure that he's going. I think Miami could be in a world of hurt in the ACC this year. I think Clemson's going to be much, much better. Carolina's kind of a wild card. SMU's got a lot of guys back from a very good team last year. It'll be very interesting in the ACC. Yeah, let me look at Miami. We haven't looked at schedules here. Let's do it one time. Let's go. Let's go through it. I'll probably do this again before the year's over, of course. Let's go to. I'm going to give you Miami. I'm going to go through Miami's record without knowing anything yet. Let's assume Carson Beck is healthy and is playing on all cylinders. They got Miami at home to open the season. I'm sorry, they got Notre Dame. Of course, they got Miami. They got Notre Dame to open the season. This could be a nice game on my retirement date, August 31st. Notre Dame's going to have to replace a quarterback. They'll be playing a young, inexperienced quarterback. They'll still have a pretty good defense. They've got some good backs. This is the kind of game that Miami has historically struggled in. Let's say I give them a win here, just for argument's sake. They'll beat Bethune for sure. South Florida, they should win. Florida, by the way, that's 4 straight home games they're opening the season with. Florida's going to be much better. Florida played really a whole lot better than we thought they would last year. Billy Napier saved a job. All 5 of their losses to top 15 teams. Games at home. I'll give it to Miami. That's 5-0. This is what Carson Beck, 100% and playing like Carson Beck, who won back-to-back championships. Now they're going to go to Florida State. I think Florida State will be better, but they're gambling on a quarterback who got benched last year at Boston College. He may not be a quarterback by that time. I think Florida State's better. I think Miami wins on the road. They're going to get Louisville at home. Jeff Brom will find another quarterback. He always does. We'll say they win. There's a good chance. This is not that tough a schedule. When I look at this, Notre Dame, tough game. Florida, tough game. At Florida State, always going to be kind of tough. Stanford, they're at SMU. That's going to be a loss. That might be their first loss. They might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They might be 7-1 at that point. They're going to get Syracuse at home. I like them to get some revenge against Syracuse. They're going to miss Kyle McCord. They're going to miss a number 1 receiver as well. They're going to play NC State. That's probably a win. Right now, they're 9-1. At Virginia Tech, that's a tough game, and that could be a close, a tough battle. I'm going to call it a loss. They're going to lose to Virginia Tech, or they're going to lose to Florida, or they're going to lose to Florida State. They're going to lose one of those games, and I think they're going to lose to SMU. That's 2 losses. And they're going to beat Pitt. This team's going to be 10-2. Probably not good enough to win the ACC because I've got them with at least 1 loss. Maybe that gets them in a championship game. Maybe it doesn't. I don't see them in a playoff unless they win the ACC. And if Carson Beck isn't 100%, that I'm not going to give you that record. So now let me do Georgia with Rick. We'll go through this a lot more. Don't worry. We do this every year, and my picks will change as the season goes on, or the off season goes on. Let's look at Georgia. They opened with a couple of home games against Marshall and Austin Peay. There's 2 wins. They got a very tough game at Tennessee. Tennessee, hoping Aguiar can replace, Nico. Not going to take much. Nico wasn't that good. But I don't know what else Tennessee's got. I'm going to say Georgia wins at Tennessee in week 3. They got Alabama at home. I think Alabama takes, you know what? They're going to miss Milroe more than you think. I do think Kalen DeBoer starts to put his own stamp on his team a little bit more next year or this year. But I think it's going to take 1 more year, and hopefully the Alabama fans are patient because I think you got a good coach. They'll be okay this year, but I don't think they're going to be that great. I think they lose at Georgia. They'll win. They'll beat Kentucky at home. They'll go to Auburn. Auburn will be better, but they're going to lose to Georgia. They got Ole Miss, who's at home with a lot of parts to replace. This is the problem with transfers, by the way. Ole Miss starting all over. Colorado starting all over. Many teams rely on a transfer portal starting all over. You look at all these. When the transfer portal really opened up in around 2020, 2021. The teams that have won since then, Georgia won twice, built around homegrown players, if you will, or their recruits, veteran players. Michigan, that team was loaded with recruited players from that team. Ohio State, even last year, while Will Howard was a big transfer and Caleb Downs, the backbone of that team was really recruits. The teams the juniors off of that team, most of them have decided to come back. The transfer portal is wonderful. if you like that kind of thing for maybe quick fixes, but you got to start over every year, basically. That's why Georgia's going to have a very good year this year. Ole Miss is going to lose that game. They got Florida at home. Florida's going to be tough. This will be a good game. Well, maybe that game's played at Jacksonville. I don't know. Rick, you probably know better than I. I'm going to give Florida a chance to win that game. I'm going to say Florida wins that game. They'll beat Mississippi State. They're going to lose to Texas. They're going to beat Charlotte. They're going to beat Georgia Tech. They're 10-2 as well. Early. This is May. Don't beat me up when that doesn't happen, okay? What else? What else you guys got? I'm going to go to baseball for a little bit here in a little bit. Yeah, I'm not crazy about any of these football stories. Nothing's really floating my boat. Let's look real quick. Right now, we've got college baseball, and we're going to start the conference tournaments here in the next week. Some of these, the Ivy League starts this weekend on the 16th. Southland starts on the 15th. You got the American East. Most of these are going to start May 20th, May 21st. Going to be an exciting time. I love college baseball playoffs. I really do. I like to watch conference tournaments. I get into the NCAA World Series, obviously a lot, just to kind of give you. I'm not selling, just to go back to this real quick, I'm not selling Georgia Tech short. I promise you. Brent Key's a really good coach. The quarterback, trying to think of his name. I got Hayner in my head, but I don't think that's it. I like a lot. Tough kid, can run the ball, can throw the ball. I like Georgia Tech, but I think Georgia beats them. And if they don't, I think they go 10-3 because I do think they lose to Texas and Florida both. You agree, Rick? As I move on, and I'll come back. I'm going to go through this college baseball. Here's what we have coming up as far as dates after these conference tournaments are done. You got your selection show on Monday, the 26th at 12 o'clock. You can watch that on ESPN2 or ESPNU. The regionals start on, they go Monday, May 30th to Monday, June 2nd. The super regionals will be June 6th to 9th. That's a Friday to Monday. The first day of the World Series will start on Friday, June 13th. And the finals are Saturday, Sunday, Monday, June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, if all is needed. And the rankings as we head into or get ready to head into the conference play, there's some interesting teams in here this year. LSU sits at the top. They're 40-12, playing. They've been great. They just moved up to number one. Florida State at 36-11. Texas, great history at Texas. They fall from first to third. This past week. But they're still one of the best teams in the country. North Carolina having a good year. Oregon, Auburn, Oregon State, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. Rick's Bulldogs are in the top 10. That rounds out the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 SEC teams in the top 10 of major college baseball. The second The next 5, Coastal Carolina, a little bit of a surprise this year. Good baseball program, though. UC Irvine, NC State, UCLA. Not a name you always see up there. Clemson. Those are 11 through 15. 16 through 20, West Virginia, Tennessee, Alabama, Southern Miss, and Duke. Did you notice there's a couple more SEC teams in that grouping in Tennessee and Alabama? Louisville's 21. Troy, 22. We don't always hear them in this baseball rankings. Florida, 23. Dallas Baptist, 36 and 13. Number 24 in the country. And Northeastern, 41 and 9. How about that? Oh, Samuel, how are you, buddy? How are you? Nobody cares. The NFL, and I'm going to, again, I can't get into too much NFL because I don't like to talk NFL on my college show, but we'll talk about this weekend. I can read the schedule in the paper tomorrow morning or later on tonight. I can look at it online. I don't understand. The NFL does a tremendous job of public relations and marketing because when you can make the release some big deal, nobody cares. I'll be watching the Knicks. When I get done with this show, I'll be watching the Knicks, which I got to find the game right now. And I'll be watching Jeopardy. And I don't care about the release of the schedule. Again, that's fine if people get excited about it, Samuel. I'm happy for you. But I just can't. I mean, tell me why. Tell me why. Where are the Knicks actually? There it is. TNT. Well, I couldn't find it earlier. What's the score? Knicks up by 3 for those who care. By the way, it's been a great series. I'm sorry Jason Tatum got hurt. We'll talk more about this on Sunday as well. This series likely will be over. Just awful what happened to Jason Tatum. I want to beat everybody at full strength. I don't root for injuries to anybody, much less a star player on the other team. Whether I like him or not is irrelevant. Never root for injuries. Bad karma, man. Bad karma. But thanks for tuning in today, Samuel. Did you bust Alan? I hope Alan's doing okay, by the way. Did you bust Alan's chops today? Was that you? If I remember right. It was kind of funny. So I'm excited for some college baseball. I'm excited for some college football, but we got months to go. I'm excited for the NFL, but I got months to go. I can't get excited about. And we're going to talk this weekend, too, a lot of NFL, 7 freaking international games. It's all about money. Where can we go and sell merchandise? Let's go to Paraguay. Don't beat me up. Is there anything in men's basketball that I didn't take a look at? I don't even know. I doubt it. Oh, well, we know where Cooper Flagg's going to be playing next year. Dallas gets the number 1 pick, by the way, so Cooper Flagg will be going to the Mavericks. No chance that doesn't happen. Arkansas's star guard Fland has withdrawn from the NBA draft. Rest in peace to Larry Miller, who was a star on some UNC North Carolina ACC title teams back in the 60s. He died at 79 years old. He's a very good college basketball player, by the way. What else is going on? Most of this is the same stuff. There ain't much going on. Now, in a sad case, Michael Davis, who was a co-defendant of former Alabama basketball player Darius Miles, if you remember, he was wrapped up in a murder case. He was found guilty of capital murder by a Tuscaloosa County jury. He was found guilty Friday, and the death was in January of 2023. Miles is charged with aiding and abetting Davis by allegedly providing Davis with the gun. You remember this story? It was very shortly before the NCAA tournament. Very sad story. Mavericks will be good next year. You get Cooper Flagg, and he's only going to help Anthony Davis if he can stay healthy. You still got Kyrie if he's, not trying to walk off the end of the earth, because we all know it's flat. I guess, Rick, that's where I get. Rick got on me a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was I don't know how long ago it was, about my take on the LSU player who killed himself. And again, I talked about the fact that mental health is a serious thing and we should take it seriously. I do talk out of both sides of my mouth when it comes to this, because I bust guys like Kyrie Irving who think the earth is flat. Kyrie's obviously got some serious issues going on. I do take mental health very seriously, because I've seen people close to me who are affected by it. But again, I make jokes about things, and I think Rick was looking for me to talk about how, the kid needs to take responsibility for his own actions, which he did. I wasn't really excusing that away at all. I never do. All of these guys, including guys like Pruitt. I'm sorry, not Pruitt. What's his name? What's his kid's name? Darius Miles. You're responsible for your own actions. I don't think these people are mentally ill. Well, I guess you're killing somebody. Everybody who kills somebody purposely has got to have some kind of mental illness. And I certainly don't excuse away their actions ever. So just want to be clear. And Rick, if I was too soft, I think probably the tone of the show probably drove me that way. I didn't feel like speaking out, on that particular topic with the LSU cornerback who was involved in an accident that killed someone, and then he took his own life later on because he just couldn't deal with it. I'm not excusing his actions. We're all responsible for what we do, but I think the kid had some mental health issues, and that's all I'm saying. We have to take them seriously, and I sometimes make light of them. And what made me think of that is Kyrie, and I'm always making light of Kyrie. I should probably not do that. This guy could do something really crazy at some point, because there's a guy who, to me, has some serious issues. There's a lot of guys in major college sports who are either not ready for the limelight, or they've got some issues where they probably should not be put in a position where they've got the spotlight thrust on them and money thrown at them. And, I guess my only point was, while he's responsible for his actions, Darius Miles was responsible for his actions. These colleges have got to be more, especially with the money that's flying around, and how they can have agents now who are puffing up their minds, and they've got other schools trying to poach them away and telling about all the great things that they're going to do for them and give them. I think these schools have got to be more in tune with how that's going to affect certain players who are not either emotionally or in a maturity sense ready for that type of life. That's it. I've thought about this many times, a few times, because I know Rick had sent me a message and he was disappointed in my take that night, that he thought I would disagree with the rest of the panel. And I really hadn't thought about, just other than the fact that, because everything had been said, there wasn't much else to say. I don't remember saying whether I said he was responsible for his actions or not, but I certainly would not ever say anything. Everybody's responsible for what they do. crazy people also. I'm sorry. You know, I guess some people can't help what they do. I don't know. I'm talking all over the place here, trying to figure out where I really stand, I guess. You know, guy who goes in and shoots up, the guy who shot up from the Mandalay Bay and killed, 100 people or whatever it was, 80 some people. Yeah, he's responsible for his actions. Probably crazy as well. Some people, I think, can be crazy and also responsible for what they do. Some people are just so crazy, maybe they aren't. That's not the case, and that's not the case I was trying to make for the kid from LSU, the cornerback, or this kid. I'm sorry, wide receiver he was. Darius Miles. I'm not trying to make an excuse for either one of these guys. They're totally 100% responsible for what they do. The colleges have got to be start to understand that there's a lot of things being thrown at kids who are not prepared to handle it. I guess that's my only point. That's a long ways. I'm sorry, I got a rambling answer there. Jesus. Oh, my God. Anyway. I don't know what else to talk about tonight. I got nothing. This is the problem with the offseason. There's some weeks I can find some things to talk about. We talked some Bill Belichick tonight. There's some other stories in sports that we're not going to get into here. We'll have some on the MLB update. We'll have some stories to talk about on Friday. And I'm going to get off of here before I lose my I screw up Robert's Roku feed again tonight. So we'll get off here in the next few minutes. I want to watch the Knicks tonight. They're up by 7 right now. Boston's got the ball. I would expect the Knicks to wrap this up tonight. It's possible it goes back to New York because Boston will be fired up a little bit for their fallen hero, but I don't think so. But anyway, tune in Friday. I'll be on the Mac and Jack show with Sonia and Jack. I'll have the baseball update at 3:00. We're still in limbo a little bit at 9:00, and Rick has told me he wants me to continue the interviews, and I want to. It's just been very stressful trying to get people recently. And as I get closer to retirement, I may change that idea, but we're going to chill for a little bit. If something jumps out at me, we're certainly going to do it. But we'll talk about that more. And then we'll have the Sunday Stream of Consciousness where there's going to be lots of things to talk about this weekend. We're going to have the NBA playoffs, and I am going to talk Knicks. And the Celtics are still throwing up threes like crazy. We're going to talk more about Bill Belichick, I'm sure. We're going to talk about Pete Rose and Joe Jackson and Rob Manfred. And we're going to talk a lot of other stuff, too. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week with some more college talk if we can find something to talk about. You guys can help me out as well. Don't be afraid to send me a topic you want to talk about. You don't have my cell phone number, shoot me a private message, and we'll bring up anything you want to talk about. I appreciate everybody coming in today. Keith Engle, the TGI Sports Talks College Football Huddle, College Sports Huddle. Bye-bye.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
You're listening to Keith Engle, the host of TGI Sports Talk on the National Streaming Sports Roku channel.